What's going on?
Hello, meatheads.
Welcome to our supporter live stream.
We're so glad you're here. Thank you so much for just
jumping
taking the
from
time.
one thing to the other.
Yes, we just premiered a vlog and then got our little butts over in here.
Yep.
Anthony is out shopping because tomorrow is Super Bowl party time.
Who's in the Super Bowl?
Well, I know the Bengals are
How
in the
did you
Super
know
Bowls.
that? You must have Googled it.
No, what was stuck in my brain was last week a little boy was trying to tell me his team, the Bagels, were in the Super Bowl. And I was like, the Bagels? Somehow I don't think so. Are they playing the cream cheese? And so, yeah. So who are you rooting for if you're rooting for somebody in the Super Bowl? I'm always rooting for the puppies in the Puppy Bowl. That's who I'm rooting
it's
for.
funny because I honestly I don't watch pro sports. I'm not a fan of pro sports. I'm more of a fan of high school and then college. I used to love, we're going to do that on the vlog though.
Yeah, because I want everybody to get to see it, but I see Shauna saying, ooh, did you get something in the mail? I did.
We did.
But I want to make sure we share it with everybody.
So yeah, I used to like the Dolphins and a lot of pro sports, and I just got to the point where I was like, they don't really try anymore. They get their multi-million, almost $500 million contracts, and then I'm like, yeah, no. So I like high school because they're working really hard to get into college, and then the college, I'm starting to kind of get away from that because they don't try as hard as they used to either. Well, but at least they're trying to get into the NFL. I'm
like Shauna. I'm definitely cheering for the commercials. This is the one time during the year where I really want to watch commercials because they get super creative with it. And I did want to share something that I thought was really exciting, and that was...
I won't be home to watch the Super Bowl anyway.
I know, you're going to be with our grandpuppy. She's having a field hunt test that she's going to try doing, and it's Grandpa's turn to get to accompany her for that. So I'll be here holding down the fort as Lord only knows how many young people will be in my house tomorrow night. But one thing that I was getting really excited about was when I went to this conference this past week, I happened to have a friend who is like, their brother is in like student ministry, like teenagers and young adults. And so I was in like a room with them and they were setting out a spread for lunch. And they said a huge trend right now amongst young people is the whole charcuterie kind of tray thing, and that they're using it a lot more different events, and like kids are really getting into it because you can use it and make it beautiful, add whatever colors and elements that you want to.
Right.
But it was basically just, I saw a bunch of young people just eating meat and cheese and some nuts, and I thought, this is fantastic. And I'm really hoping that more people bring that into their snacks for the Super Bowl because it makes it pretty and festive, right?
I did get a phone call while Anthony and I were officiating some youth lacrosse. It was 100, can you see?
I know, you got burnt.
It was 100 degrees on the field today.
And then pale underneath your hat.
Yeah, well, that'll all be tan tomorrow. But it was over 100 degrees on the field because we were on an AstroTurf field. I don't understand that in February, but it is what it is. But I got a phone call in between games from a guy who I officiate football with, and he also does lacrosse. And at one point, he lost a tremendous amount of weight counting calories.
Yeah.
And guess what happened when he stopped counting calories? He gained it all back plus some. So right now, he is close to like 380 pounds, he said.
Okay.
And so he was like, I was researching keto, and one of the officials who he's working with, Steve, said, hey, you need to call Joe because him and his wife have a keto channel, and that's what he's been doing. And he remembers me when I weighed almost 300 pounds. So, yeah, he's going to be starting keto and asked me to help him out. He's like, what do I do? I'm like, eat meat.
You guys are really the thanks for all of it because you guys supporting us and helping us to get drones and to get cameras and to get the things that we need to buy tickets to go places so that we can reach as many people as we possibly can. And what is so exciting to us is how I feel like we're reaching such a different variety of life experiences and age groups right now, and it's all important, right?
Yep.
Like we're seeing more children and families. We're getting a lot of messages from moms and dads that are trying to start off their kids' first foods in a keto direction, which gets me super excited. We see a lot of people who are transitioning to a different, season of life. Maybe they're retiring and they're like, I don't want to get worse as I retire. I want to get better and really enjoy my retirement. So I'm loving it, but it's all made possible by you guys.
Yeah, so thank you so much. So if you're new to our Patreon live streams, it's kind of just a chance for us to honor you guys, answer your questions, talk about whatever you want. Let's see who's here real quick. I saw Randy is here, and Brianna's here. Wild Zen is here. Of course, Shauna is here.
Hello.
Brianna's here. Jason is here.
Hey, Brianna.
Miss Lori is here.
Hey, Lori.
Susan is here.
Hey, Susan.
So since Susan's here, so for those of you, we mentioned it quickly on our live stream the other day, but since this is just a Patreon live stream, we can let you know. We will be at Keto Summit in Omaha. We're going to be a big part of it from what we understand. So, and if you're interested, if you're going to be in the area, if Keto Summit Omaha, the tickets are supposed to be going on sale on Tuesday. At least that's what Jay told me, if everything goes as planned. And it is going to be August, I think it's 18th and 19th. It's a Thursday and Friday.
I'm super jealous.
August 18th and 19th in Omaha, same place it was last year.
Anthony is saying hi from Universal Studios and a Diana Ross concert.
Nice.
How cool is that?
I was thinking about trying to figure out when we can go to Universal because I want to go to Mardi Gras. And I got to figure out when we can get up there because it's lacrosse season. So I'm just going to block out a couple days.
Brianna is asking, are you emceeing?
No, we are not emceeing. Jay MCs it, but he's got us doing some other stuff.
Yeah,
so we're
which
really
I think
excited about
will be just a new layer, I think, to conferences, which gets me really excited. So I can't wait to tell you as soon as they announce it.
So back in, so Heath is here.
Hey, Heath.
I'm assuming that the warden is somewhere in there. MJ is here.
Hey, MJ.
Keto Life Granny is here.
Hi.
Jason. Danita is here.
Hi, Danita.
Let's see. I think, Brian is here.
100 degrees in February is insane. Although I was seeing somebody
said they thought it was weird without having the countdown. It was weird.
It was weird. We're just like, boom, here.
There's no point. I have a countdown for you guys. We want to jump right into it with you guys.
So somebody was saying that it was 60 where they are right now, but it's supposed to snow tomorrow. It's like, how confused can the weather be? That's how it's been this week for us too, because it was like we had a day that was in like 40s and 50s, and then the next day was 80s, and I was behind each day. So it's like the day that it was like in the 40s and 50s, right. I wore something light for my conference. The next day I was like, okay, I'm gonna get ahead of this. Wore a coat, super hot.
Shauna said, I made some air fryer pork belly. If those guys going to keep me up all day putting up a door, they got to smell pork belly and Hungry Heath pork poultry rub.
How yummy.
James said, I'm going to the Super Bowl party to eat. I promise I'll behave myself.
I totally believe you. And there's so many awesome snacks and food that's perfect appetizer food. Tonight, we reintroduced ourselves to bacon wrapped jalapeno peppers.
First time since August.
It was good.
Right?
It was really good.
August.
I want to say we've had to
September.
Have had one.
No, we did not.
There.
Nope. With the last time, I can tell you, the last time we had them was when we were at Keto Palooza. And we were making them in the house. So Chris and Miriam were making them. That is the last time we had it because we started beef, butter, bacon, and egg right after that.
Well, they're awesome. They're perfect for the Super Bowl. Mm. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Meatballs. There's crackers that we make.
Over there.
Huh?
Give me that right there.
This?
I'll tell you what is not awesome for the Super Bowl. Since you guys are our patrons and our channel members, we have a review of this coming out.
They sent it to us.
Don't buy this.
It was interesting.
I felt bad. We're not going to give you too much because we want you to see the video. But I'm just going to tell you, if you're looking at this, don't buy this. It's a keto ramen noodle. It's
interesting to me how some companies get very excited about some of these words like keto. Mm-hmm. And they have really no idea what it is. And they're like, but I want to try to make something for that group of people. Mm-hmm. And so they do things like, okay, well, we're going to have a nutrition label where you can, oh my goodness, I subtract the fiber for a net carb math equation.
Right.
But it's like, okay, so you have that, but it just makes no sense. It doesn't, like, it's not going to fuel our goals. So I appreciate that you've got a nutrition label that you think is geared towards keto, but like, maybe just take some time to learn what it is, because then you wouldn't waste your time with us.
I was in Sam's Club yesterday. Anthony is making a brisket for his Super Bowl party. So I found a brisket. He's like, can I have the brisket in the freezer? I'm like, no, and it won't defrost in time anyway.
Right.
But I found one that was $20 off. It was special buy. You have to use or freeze, or it was actually sell by the 14th. So I'm like, perfect. So I taught him how to trim up a brisket, and I'm in Sam's Club, and I didn't video it, but there was the bag. They had this new chocolate treat, like clusters. The second ingredient was cane sugar.
It's like,
and
what
then
are you
on the
thinking?
big front, keto.
Keto.
And I'm like, it had 9 grams of added sugar. I don't understand how you're possibly making that keto with 9 grams of added sugar.
I would love to see more products for keto. I would love to see more restaurants with keto options. I think that you as a restaurateur could save a ton of money and just make some
There's
things
tons of keto restaurants
geared towards us. But here's the thing.
They're all steakhouses.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna make something keto, call a keto person first. Like somebody. Just do a little bit of research first. Sister P says, good evening, first time here.
Mary said,
hey, Mary.
Good afternoon. I'm busy making potluck dishes for 2 diabetics, a vegetarian and a heart attack patient. That's so awesome.
Wow,
You're awesome.
Thank you.
Shauna said, Keto Omaha's on my double nickel birthday.
How cool there is no way that you are about to be 55 years old. Is that what double nickel is? 55?
Anthony said we need to come the weekend of March 12th and 13th. I think we actually have that down.
I actually think I marked that.
No, we have to be home on Sunday, so we'd have to go like Friday, Saturday.
Right, we'll do the Friday, Saturday thing.
Yeah, I have to look at the schedule for lacrosse. We're so short on officials, and then the guy who used to do the scheduling, he had a knee replacement last year and ended up getting a bad bacterial infection.
Yes.
Evidently, it's very prone. It's very common when you get joint replacements. And he almost lost his life. He had a 10% chance of living. And so he had called me because we've been friends for years. He was my white hat years ago in football. He's who introduced me to lacrosse. And he's like, I'm not going to schedule this year. The doctors need me to take it easy.
Rest.
And yeah, you couldn't pay me enough for scheduling. Like it's just a super stressful job. So the guy who's doing the scheduling now is literally scheduling you like the day before. And I'm like, this doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
a little bit of time.
He scheduled me for a game next Thursday, and I gave it back because we do our live streams.
Right.
I said I can only work local. I can't go to Miami on Thursday, and I got to be done by 6:30. So I gave it back, said I can't work in the evening on Thursdays. And he rescheduled the same game to me an hour later. And I'm like, still no.
Still no. But you almost got me there.
Keto Life Granny said, Alan is trying to get into the live stream, but is having difficulties.
Okay.
I don't know how I can help him other than give him the link.
Yeah, if somebody could answer back with the
All you got to do is go down below and find the link and
then put it
and just give him the link. I just don't want to. I can't make the link public because then everybody will join us.
Yeah,
and we don't want that. But yeah, so all he's got to do is if somebody can email or message him the link, that would be awesome. But thank you very much, Keto Life Granny. Let's see. Brianna said I made the 2KK chili
Brianna.
last week and added heat spice to it. So good.
If you're looking,
I actually have a bunch of meat defrosted. We're gonna make some of that because this week is a busy week.
And you want Heath and Shelly's spice combinations in your life because I trust this gentleman. I trust him with spices. I've had the hot sauce, the keto chow hot sauce that he makes is amazing. And I also enjoyed the packets of seasoning that he put together and shared with us.
Brian said we're having air fryer pork belly tonight to mentally prepare for tomorrow. I found some giant jalapenos, so that's the agenda for tomorrow.
I love that.
Yeah, that's like the ones I got them at Whole Foods. I ended up I'm experimenting with a butter and oil infuser.
Oh,
and so I ran to Whole Foods to get some fresh herbs to do some I want to do like a garlic chive butter. And I was like, that's where I got the idea for the jalapenos. I bought them yesterday. I'm like, jalapenos with a steak tomorrow would be good. These things were like this. I took 4 jalapenos. It took almost an entire brick of cream cheese to fill 4 jalapenos. That's
I'm
how
not
big
complaining
these things
about
were.
it.
Shauna said yes. Holly and Steve made them, and that was the first time I ever had a jalapeno popper.
So we were there when we were together when we were having our last one for a season, and she was having her first one ever. Mm-hmm. How cool is that?
Anthony said left the park for dinner and went to Portillo's. Their beef bowl is 42 grams of fat and 42 grams of protein. Protein 1-to-1. I said Joe would be so proud of me.
Out loud. I love it.
Awesome.
We are proud of you. That's amazing.
James said, I'll submit my annual early for August 19th off. Thanks for the heads
Nice. Can't wait to see you.
And like I said, he said he's going to give us a discount code. We don't make any money off of it, which I was like, I don't need to make any money off. This is about getting people into conferences.
How many people can we get there?
Yes.
We don't want anything. We just want people. I like what Shauna is saying. Are they thinking natural sugar makes a difference? Crazy
I know.
Town.
Well, a lot of people do think that.
When they say organic sugar, you can hear me like right up a freaking tree.
Yeah.
Because it's like organic.
Was this one of the items that everything was listed organic? No.
No.
There was one of the items.
There was a thing in Costco. It was like every single thing.
Oh, that's right.
Organic poison. Organic sugar.
Brianna said, I know a lot of keto people who really aren't invested. They will eat things with sugar as long as the net carbs are low.
I know.
And listen, I was listening to Nisha's live stream today, during her coffee and chat on Saturday morning. I was on my way down to the park, and so I had that going. Then I was sitting in the car waiting for my game to start. And it's something that she was talking about. Like, you start where you can. Like, there are some people who will always need keto treats.
Yeah.
Okay? There's other people who are going to use them at the beginning as kind of a crutch and kind of move away. Like, Rachel and I, we've proven we can go long stints without it.
But it goes like this.
But every once in a while we like to have it. There's other people that just never ever need them again. But, it's fine if you have it, but you do need to learn to read the labels. And you may get away with eating some of that sugar, and you may get away with doing more net carbs and more total carbs in the beginning, but eventually it does catch up with you. One of the questions somebody had asked her was, is it okay to eat lunch meat? We love lunch meat. And she was like, I eat lunch meat. Now, it shouldn't be every single meal of your day. There's usually some hidden sugars in there. Mm-hmm. The only lunch meat that we try not to eat is ham, because that's usually got a lot more sugar. But you do what you can, and then hopefully as you have the results, you start weaning off of stuff. And, the bottom line is this, and I know this is a controversial subject, and we get a lot of hate every time I say it. Net carbs isn't real. It's made up by the food industry. That's the bottom line. It's made up by the food industry.
I feel like we take so much new ground every time we just get somebody to read an ingredients label and just make an educated decision and stop basically just falling hook, line, and sinker into whatever is like big food's propaganda. If we're using a commercial for entertainment value, like we're going to be doing tomorrow, right? Like, even I am going to be probably cheering at the Doritos commercial, or Taco Bell, or a beer commercial. I enjoy watching them for entertainment value, but it's when we're like, gosh, this food that's just super full of sugar is going to be heart healthy. That is where we have to be suspicious. And you guys help so much to educate people in your realm of influence. So it's not like you're like, I'm going to take this information and keep it to myself. It's great when you share it with your friends and your family members. And if everybody could just read an ingredient label, I feel like that's a huge victory.
It's funny, Anthony and I ran to Publix yesterday because he was getting something on our way home from our game last night. He's like, oh, he wanted to get chicken. So we go in and they're selling, it's Girl Scout cookie time down here.
Right.
And so every Publix has Girl Scouts in front. And I just said, they're like really hard selling the girl, and we always want. I'll give you the money.
I'll just give you money.
But I'm not buying Girl Scout cookies. And we used to, we would buy them and give them away, and I don't even want to do that. And I said to Anthony, you think I should say to him, like, I can't eat that poison? He's like, please don't do that. But here's what he said. Here's the funny part about those Girl Scout cookies. They've doubled the price and made the box smaller. I remember when they were $3. They were selling them for $6.
Stuff costs more, Grandpa.
but the box is half the size that it used to be.
Well, I mean,
and then I think about I gave him
everybody's got to pay more for less.
That Kai's Key
think the
cookie,
Girl Scouts are immune?
You know the Kai's Key, the mint, she duplicated the Thin Mint. He ate one, and he was
what
like,
did he think?
He said the taste was dead on.
Okay.
It just doesn't have that crisp cookie. It's more of a soft cookie.
But
the taste is dead on. And then he actually said to me, he was like, "This is an 11-year-old girl." He was like, "What am I doing with my life?" I'm like, good question.
Yeah, I just love supporting somebody's dreams, especially like a young person that's trying so hard.
Keto Life Granny said that's one of the things I've learned from this channel. Read ingredients.
Good. Yes. That's awesome.
Randy said, I agree with Dr. Barry. If they have to put keto on the label, it's probably not keto.
You're so
what
right.
I always say
that's
is,
a good policy.
At minimum, there's plenty of companies that Keto Bar and Keto Brick and Keto Chow, but also notice every one of those came from somebody who was in the lifestyle
and used it for their own purposes.
And created the product for their own personal use and then decided to sell it. What I always tell people, if you are in a store and you see the name keto, that should definitely
flip the bag,
double check the ingredients. Right. Like if there doesn't have that, then like, okay, but if it says keto, you should double and triple check the ingredients. And don't just look at what the ingredients are, but also always go over and look at added sugar.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to really see added sugar. Sometimes there's natural sugars, like peanut butter has natural sugar, but you don't want to see added sugar.
Wow, Patty's got a great question. Which keto event would you recommend taking someone to who is open to keto but not sold on being 100%? They aren't going to want to sit and be bored listening to Science-y. I would say Keto Palooza, personally.
Let's say, I don't know. Keto Palooza is
just fun.
It depends on where you are in the area.
Yeah, so, that's true.
I would not say KetoCon.
No.
Okay, so KetoCon is the largest. Big. It's the largest conference. There are a lot of speakers. We're speaking at KetoCon this year. There's a lot of vendors.
Right.
But you don't really get a community feel there. One of the reasons we absolutely love Omaha is it's a community feel. Like Jay and Dr. Seaman have really gone out of their way to make this a very small, intimate conference. And one of the things that's nice about that is the fact that the speakers are, because it's so small, are there to answer questions. So when they get off of the stage, they're just wandering around. They're not going and hiding in a green room. They're there.
Yeah.
And you could just
super
walk
accessible.
up to them. And the only reason I say something like that over Keto Palooza is because Keto Palooza has really just been a meetup. Now, last year, Autumn had a couple of speakers, and I'm interested to see where it goes this year. But if you're looking for some knowledge, but also to get an idea, something like Omaha is amazing. Any of the smaller ones.
Right.
Don't go to the Low Carb USA ones because those are really sciencey, really made for doctors. You want to find local meetups. Go to, Keto Salt Lake is going to be another one that's like that.
We'll be speaking in Orlando as well.
And there's some really good speakers
event in Orlando.
That's in Orlando.
And if you're in that region. So let us know what region you're in and we could probably help.
Oh my gosh, I just realized, I hope that that's not the same weekend as Omaha. That is going to be interesting. Do we have that date in here yet?
Keto Orlando Summit is the 7th of August.
Oh, okay. August is busy. Oh, no, it's not. Yes, it's that weekend. So Keto Orlando Summit starts August 4th. So it's like August 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay.
Did you just have a heart attack about
it? Jerry said, I know what you mean. I love the keto fat bombs from Slim Fast. However, lately they are now adding wheat and other additives to food consumers. Freaking corporate greed and dumb.
Well, and that is a lot of times why they do that. You're so right on. They add it to make good ingredients stretch further, right? So that the profit margin is bigger, because that's the thing, like the wheat and the corn, that's not like the top shelf ingredients for anybody, for anything. That's why it's so accessible, like no matter what restaurant, especially all you can eat places like the Brazilian steakhouses, they're like, can I give you a basket of fries, some bread, what kind of pasta you like? Because we want to take you away from the meat that's more expensive and stretch that in our benefit.
Right.
And it's the same thing. I mean, you see it in dog food, right? Like Tabitha only needs 2 cups of what we give her, because there's no wheat, there's no corn, there's no
it's got
additives.
some sweet potatoes and stuff like that, but there's not a bunch of.
But if we use Purina,
grains in
she's got to have 8-9 cups of it, because there's so much additives that you're diluting the nutrient density of it.
And by the way, we have gotten messages from people that are like, have you seen the stuff about eating grain-free for dogs not being good for them and possibly causing heart issues? And I actually talked to our vet about it. And the vet was kind of like, listen, I don't believe any of it. I haven't seen it in my practice. And I believe it's pretty much like the big food companies lobbying Congress and the FDA to try to get this, because the FDA is basically only recommending 5 companies. And it was like, Canine Special Diet and IAMS and Purina, and I'm like, really? Like, they're literally naming companies of where you should buy your dog food from.
Wow.
Something is up with that. And what the vet said to me was, in the wild, dogs don't eat grains. They're carnivores.
Yeah.
They make their kill, because they're wolves, they make their kill, and you know what the first thing they eat is? They eat the stomach and the intestines. And what do they get in there? All of the stuff that they would be getting,
residual.
So that's where they're going to get their vegetables and stuff like that, because it's in their stomach.
They eat what their prey
So,
eats.
like, Tabitha does get things like sweet potatoes and stuff inside of her food. There's just no grains. We don't feed her just strictly carnivore. The other reason we don't do raw food is it would cost us twice as much to feed her as it would to feed us.
Yeah. She'd love it.
Keto Like Granny said, this is my 7-month anniversary. I'm now down 75 pounds.
Pounds down. Thank you so much for sharing. That is so awesome.
Susan
really
said,
awesome.
I was looking at the places where we are going to be staying in Ireland, and it's amazing how in other countries their breakfast items are not just pastries. They have deli meats and cheeses. Yeah, I remember when I went to Italy,
true.
like, that was breakfast was like salads and meats, and like there was no eggs and stuff for breakfast.
It's only America that's like Lego my ego.
Keto Life Granny said he can't find the link. Oh, so the link would be in Patreon.
Yeah.
But if you go down to, let me see, can I find it here?
We could grab it for him. Oh wait, I see Alan right there.
Okay. Is he in?
Yeah,
okay,
yay!
good.
Hi,
Alan! So Mary said, it's been a challenge to come up with something for everyone. I want to show diabetics what their medicine tastes like, but the vegetarian wife thinks it's poison. Planting a seed anyway.
That is, you know what? That is the very best thing that you can do. Sometimes, like, I want to stick around and water and sunshine and like watch over this thing. I think what makes it easier for me to be able to plant a seed and not be like, I need to see all the life change that happens, is the fact that I'm going into my 30th year in kids ministry. And just by nature, I don't usually get to see their whole life unfold. And I have to tell myself that when I am pouring into a young life and helping to teach them things about loving others and being honest and caring for people and being a good steward of our resources here on earth, that like I've planted a seed, and that later on, it's taking root, and we will have like a good harvest of that in their lives, that they may never remember me, my face, my voice, but they will just remember, gosh, being honest is a good thing. I feel like I should be honest in this situation, know, and it's the same thing for us. Every time that we're just sharing, hey, this is a delicious food, if we take a keto dish to the potluck and people remember, gosh, I remember I had this funny lasagna one time. It didn't even have any pasta noodles in it. It was used with like, turkey meat was the pasta replacement. And, you're planting a seed, and it's up to them to take it to the next level.
Yep. Rihanna said, I found that out the hard way. I didn't check ingredients and paid so badly for inflammation and pain. We are guilty of that.
We are so guilty of that.
As a matter of fact, it's funny because they still sell them in Costco. There is a cheese crisp. I cannot remember the name of it. Oh, gosh,
yes.
It comes in a brown bag. They are delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And we bought, it was like last year, we bought several bags, and we went through 2 or 3 bags. I think it was right around, it was not this past year, it was the one before,
because when
we were going camping with the boys.
Yeah.
And you bought them for me, and I plowed through 2 bags of them. And But again, they look like cheese crisp, and we're like, didn't check the ingredients. And then we ended up buying like 20 bags of them because Costco is another, it's like here today, gone tomorrow.
And
right?
they're delicious.
And so we're like, we're going to buy them, we're going to put them away. And then one day I'm just pick up the bag and I'm looking and I'm like, there's wheat. And what I thought was like 3 carbs per serving, it was like 9 or 10 carbs. But again, we were plowing through the bag. So we took every bag that wasn't opened back to Costco.
Yeah.
But I remember like, wow, how did we make that mistake of not checking labels? So we've done it too.
Yeah.
You should wait till you see the vlog that we filmed today and see what I've done. I don't want to spoil it too much, but Susan said, first time I had a jalapeno popper was at Keto Summit, Omaha.
How cool.
Brianna said, when is Omaha? I just looked on low carb events. It's not there. It is August 18th and 19th. It's not there because they haven't officially announced it, but he called me to tell me because they want us to come up there and do some stuff.
But they'll announce it, I think, Monday.
So he said they're going to be announcing it Monday, and then they put up like a little teaser, but no dates. And then tickets supposed to go on sale on Tuesday. Wellman said, I just bought 12 pounds of hamburger patties and 10 pounds of bacon last night.
Wow.
Hopefully it will last a few days in this carnivorous house.
I love that.
Jerry said, I'm going to do Joe's 2KK Keto Chow Chili and Keto Nachos for the game.
How
Bacon is my snack time. I need to go to the grocery store to get more propane.
Oh, yeah, because, you know, there'll be a run on it. That's going to be a hot commodity this weekend, right? Propane.
Yeah. Randy said, I love pastrami, but I have to watch how much of it I eat. Yeah, pastrami corned beef, I can just eat it all the time. I've got 2 corned beefs out in the fridge right now. I'm going to make one this week. And then the other one I'm saving for St. Patty's Day because Rachel can take or leave it. But like generally like St. Patty's Day, I would make one for the house and one for me. That's how much I like corned beef.
Usually I'm like Mikey, right? Like she likes everything, but yeah, I could take or leave corned beef.
Yeah. Wellman said, truth, it is made up by the food industry. So true.
Very true.
Wildzen said, I'm learning this month that having treats around is a trigger for me to overeat them. I try to just make like keto chow keys shake and freeze extra pieces, so there isn't so much accessible.
We use our freezer a lot. Yes. Our freezer is one of our best, like, you know, helpers on keto, to be honest.
At minimum, it being in the freezer, aside from the fact that it takes it out of line of sight, it also makes it take longer to eat it. Yeah. Like if you put a piece of keto cheesecake in there, you're not plowing through a super soft piece. It's like, remember years ago, I don't know about you guys, like Snickers would get stored in the freezer. Well, it takes 5 times longer to eat a frozen Snickers than it does to eat like one that's sitting on the shelf.
Right.
So we do that a lot of times. But again, it's something we talked about in the vlog today. Like there are just certain foods that we cannot have. I am not triggered at all by stuff that's on that shelf or the fact that I have 12 bags of those cauliflower bites in the cabinet or keto cookies. But I am triggered by peanut butter and nuts and slices of cheese. And so we just don't keep it in the house.
Well, I was thinking about something before we come on. I was just talking to Joe while we were eating dinner tonight about the Super Bowl and about how much it matters to have the right player on your team in the right position. And when it comes to our keto and our way of eating, do we have the right person in our life in a certain position? You know, sometimes we think, well, because it's our partner, that needs to be the person that's cheering me on. Mm-hmm. But if that is not a position that they can fill because they're not interested in doing keto, or maybe they can, you know, in the past has been undermining of some of your health goals, don't put them in that position. Right. It may be, you know, another relative or a coworker or somebody here in the group that would be a better person to fill that position for you. Like, you don't want to leave that position open. You want to have somebody that's like your cheerleader, somebody that you can bounce things off of, an accountability partner, somebody that you can talk about things with and feel comfortable. But it's always just a good time of year to be like, do I have the right person in the right position in my life?
And if you
to
don't
help
have
me?
Somebody, that's what our group is for.
Yeah.
Susan said, I go through phases with keto treats. I might open a box of Nola bars and eat one several days consecutively. Other times, I will just have them sitting there right in front of my face and they don't faze me. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Paul said, a video I watched today from Dr. Westman reminded me of the importance of getting back to basics sometimes. Yes,
it's true.
It's so true.
When you
if you're not having any weight loss and you're just kind of stuck, look back at what got you started.
Yeah.
Brianna said, it's been a minute when I sold Girl Scout cookies. They were $1.50.
Same here, because I had to sell them too. And yeah, they were much cheaper.
Let's see. Libby said, not only read the ingredients, but I have my phone at the ready to look up anything I don't know about.
That is awesome. So smart. You're never going to be sorry that you do that.
James says, what's everyone making for the game? A friend requested my maple wings, so I made a big batch of maple wings and hot wings. That's great.
Chicken wings are always like, I think that there's actually, like, if you're going to order them from someplace, get your order in tonight or very first thing, crack of dawn tomorrow morning, because those are usually something that sells out very fast.
Shauna said, I've been reading nutrition labels with Joe's voice in my head for over a year now.
Aw, does it have his accent?
Randy said, does anyone use coconut manna in their keto chow shakes? If yes, how much do you use? We've never used it in keto chow, but we have used coconut manna.
In different like recipes and stuff.
Oh, Brianna's working the Orlando Summit. I'm so excited for the small water park at the hotel.
Oh my gosh, there's a water park at the hotel?
You didn't know that?
I did not know that. I was already excited to go, but yes, I'm all about the water park.
Patty said we are in Oklahoma, so in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Oh, so if you're going, then I would probably go to Omaha. Wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be
Susan said after the summit last year, I was talking to Ben Seaman, and he said they like the size of Omaha, and when the tickets sell out, they sell out.
Wow, yes. That's cool. Brianna says, I'm all about the lazy river. I am all about the lazy river. And if you ever have a chance to visit Florida, I cannot recommend highly enough taking in some of the state parks that have springs to them, because it's like natural lazy river, like Rainbow Springs is a natural lazy river, and boy howdy is it awesome.
He said, at what point in time were dogs out gardening? They always eat
right,
meat.
That's so true.
Alan said, I do raw food diet for my dog, but he's small, so I can afford it. But it would be hard to afford for large dogs coming like Bubba Burgers in the frozen
That's
side.
very true.
I every once in a while, I'm like, maybe I should do it. Like, my sister feeds her cats.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Terry.
But I figured it out. Like, as it is now, it costs about $2 to $2.50 a day to feed that dog. Can you imagine if you were feeding her just raw food? Like, she needs at least like 2 pounds of beef a day.
We have to buy 2 cows, one for her and one. Oh, can I share a tip that I just found out when I went with Michelle? I don't think I mentioned it in the vlog.
Okay.
But I think it is so cool. So I don't know if anybody else has an aversion to lamb like I do. I've really had a hard time eating lamb. I want to eat lamb because I know it's a ruminant animal, and Dr. Berry says that that's like really like the meat that we should focus on, and I want to do other things, not just beef. But we were at a farm, and there were some really unique sheep at this farm. And so I asked the farmer, why do you have these particular sheep? And she said, because I don't like the taste of sheep. And I want to eat it, but I don't like the taste of it because it's got a really strong, gamey taste to me. And I'm like, okay, now you're speaking my language, because yes, there's like a smell and a taste that's unique to sheep. And I just figured, suck it up, Buttercup, because it's just not what I grew up with. But she said that if you get a sheep that has hair, not the wool like you shear, but like a hair, and you can Google hair sheep, haired sheep, they don't have the lanolin that the other sheep has, and it makes their meat taste more, she says it tastes more like pork loin to her, and the smell is not, she goes, every now and then you'll get a little bit of a whiff that makes you know it's sheep, the smell, but it's much easier to eat if that is something that you have a hard time with. So I'm going to be looking for haired sheep around here that maybe we can purchase a sheep.
Yeah, share. Jerry said, since you have a Vitamix, have you considered making your own whole dog food with your Vitamix? I've seen some resources on YouTube, and it looks amazingly easy. Yeah, again, we've looked at it. It's just the
Terry does that.
The amount that it would cost. She weighs 130 pounds. Yes, U.S. Wellness Meat sells dog food.
Nice.
Brian said, Karen just hit her 1-year ketoversary. I wore her down, and y'all helped so much, especially Joe's example he provided for Rachel with no pressure. So she's done so amazing. Thank you so much.
Karen, we love you so much, and I'm so proud of her. She is such an incredible woman in so many realms of life, and I'm excited for her to get all of the benefits because she's just going to channel that into like all of the amazing athletic things that she does.
Yeah.
Like 100-mile bike rides.
Rihanna, she's got a good memory. It's the Sonoma cheese crisps.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
Rihanna,
when
you are so amazing. What a great memory. I want that memory. Somebody was at it was somebody that I work with. I think it was Caitlin that was just so good at like remembering names. And I was like, man, I want that skill because things fly out of my mind.
Yeah, but you can remember the name of an actor that you saw one time 40 years ago.
I guess I need to attach it to a movie. This person reminds me of this person.
Brianna said, forget feelings. I want my teenagers to remember the quadratic formula when they are 90. Just kidding. It's all about relationships, providing positive support.
I'm so glad those kids have you as a teacher, Brianna. All the difference in the world.
Yeah, he said you could have taken the open bags back. Costco has a phenomenal return policy.
They really do.
They do, I know that, but we only had one open bag, and I don't know, I felt guilty doing it.
I know, but we had to pack them up as many as we could.
We actually had recently bought a case of cat food.
Yeah.
And when we got it, I opened it up. There were supposed to be 48 cans, and there were only 46 cans. And I thought about bringing that back, and then I'm like, it's just not worth the effort to go all the way over there for like $1 a can. Right, I'm going to spend more than $1 in gas to get there. Shauna said, I made some keto truffles just after New Year's. I still have half left over in the freezer.
That's what we do with them also.
Lisa said, I had to freeze the pumpkin keto chow chili. I could eat the whole recipe in a day if I did.
Isn't that stuff crazy good?
We don't make it. And I mean, it is not that the pumpkin sausage soup isn't amazing.
It's delicious.
It is a little bit higher in carbs.
And we will eat the entire pot.
The last time we made it, the two of us ate the entire batch in one day. So that is just another thing that we just don't make. If we're gonna make it, it's gonna be like for an event where we know we can't have it all.
Right. Like you have to share it.
Brianna said, I can limit nuts and cheese, but keto treats are a no-no. I got sick eating all the Chalk Zero candy I bought on Black Friday in a very short period of time.
Never again.
See, everybody's got something different.
I love that you're sharing all these things because, yeah, every single person is different. And sometimes, you know, you need to hear another person say, like, I struggle with that too, because it doesn't mean that we aren't disciplined people. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, and that always frustrated me. I thought, I just am going to start identifying as an undisciplined person because I can't stick to this. And then I would say like, well, that's not true though, because there's so many other areas of my life where I stay disciplined and never have a problem. Right. So it's just, I have trouble with this certain thing. We're not going to take Superman down just because he can't handle kryptonite, right? There's other things that he can do well. We don't need to scrap the whole person.
How have I finished my espresso and almost done my coffee and you still have both full?
You totally filled me up tonight. We had steak, we had shrimp, we had bacon wrapped jalapeno peppers. I'm like, I'm still full.
Really?
You actually got me full.
I feel like we had something else in there. Coleslaw.
Oh, coleslaw.
Keto Life Granny said, I learned the hard way. I just can't buy keto snacks at all. I have no self-control where they're concerned.
I love that
People ask us, why don't you guys represent Built Bar? Because Rachel had a major issue with them. She was climbing the walls, literally and then
I actually climbed up a bookcase.
We actually found other people who are having a similar thing, and I'm like, okay, so if Rachel has no control with them, and she is usually the one who's got a lot of control when it comes to stuff like that, more than I do, and we know several other people who had literally woken up like the next morning surrounded by wrappers, I'm like, we're just not gonna like promote that product.
No.
We like the taste. Now I know they've redone their formulation, but that was another product we talked about, like companies changing things to find more profit. Some of you may remember years ago, there was a company called Nola Bar. Now they ran out of business during COVID.
You mean Stoka?
Stoka Bar, not Nola Bar. Stoka Bar. Stoka bars, when they came out, were amazing. They were almost like, were they like the Nature Valley granola bar?
Yes.
They were really clean ingredients, really good taste. They were so good that I remember they were expensive though. They were like $3 a bar.
Keto
Connect made a recipe.
It's actually really good.
And it was like basically a bunch of nuts and butter powder. And the butter powder was what was basically making it stick together. And we bought butter powder, and that's when we learned we can't keep butter powder in the house.
Because I eat it by the spoonful.
Because Rachel was just eating it by the spoon.
Because that's normal.
And there's carbs in butter powder. Even if the label says 0, I'm telling you, all of the butter powders out there have carbs in them. They're rounding down. Different story. They were great. And then what did Stoka Bar do? They redid their formula. They got rid of the butter powder and started using like soluble corn fiber. The quality went down. It didn't have the same texture anymore. And they ended up going out of business.
Yeah, because it was good. The original was good.
I know COVID didn't help with them staying in business, but the product just wasn't as good as when they first started, but they decided to try to cut corners here and there.
Oh, so Shauna says, I like using the scan feature on my Chronometer app. Me too. That really helps also, where it's just like boom and I can look it up.
Yeah, Brianna said Duncan tried to make a keto item. They now have egg bites, but they are 7 carbs each. A bit high for me. Kind of sad. Maybe if I'm in a pinch.
Yeah, I've seen that, and a friend of mine is like addicted to the Starbucks ones. She always gets them, and I'm like, girl, you need to make these things at home and like save your money because it's like this big
and it's expensive.
Alan
said, I hear you, Joe. I have a hard time stopping myself when there's peanut butter around. So. You guys will see it on the vlog. I bought a small jar of Smucker's.
With a name like Smucker's, it's gotta be good.
It's super clean. It's literally peanuts and salt. That's all the ingredients. It's like their Smucker's natural peanut butter. I bought it to work on a recipe. In 4 days, I ate half the jar by myself.
I did not even realize there was a jar.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, because you're usually the person with the peanut butter problem, right?
Right.
But I can control myself with anything, but every time I walk past the cabinet, I was just, and like the worst part was like last night, after we were done eating, I had a piece of protein-sparing bread, and I said, I'm going to put some peanut butter on it. So I put 1 spoon of peanut butter on it, but 3 spoons of peanut butter into my mouth. Before eating that.
Right, because it's like 1 for you, 1 for me.
So, yeah. So, I literally threw out whatever was left. It was like half a jar left. It went in the garbage.
But it's like, on one side, it's like, okay, we just literally threw $4 in the garbage. But like...
What's it doing to my health?
Well, and your how you feel about yourself is more than $4.
That's right.
And if you're like, I'm going to keep this, but feel terrible about myself and feel like a failure... I would rather lose that $4. Like your pride in yourself.
Right.
Like how Joe sees Joe is more important to me than $4.
Mary said, I wish you could see the cracked chicken I just pulled out of the oven. Ooh. All cream cheesy and cheddary and bacon filled.
Yum.
If this don't sell keto, I don't know what will.
Ain't nothing gonna sell keto.
Jerry said, those lazy rivers, I hope to keep the gators at bay. Gators and snakes frightened.
I promise you.
Well, the ones in the hotels are just don't have that. But I will tell you this. So
gators don't want us.
All the year now, she's born and raised in Florida, okay? I've been here for 26 years. My parents grew up down here. My father was born and raised in Miami. All of the time that I've ever been in one of the spring waters, going down and floating in the water, I've seen maybe 5 gators, and in all of the years, and they don't bother you.
No.
Now, we've been camping, and there's a place called Fish Eating Creek that's about an hour and a half from here, and we've seen lots of gators there. We would still go swimming in them, but it is a place to be a little bit more careful because it's a campground, and people who don't know any better feed them, so they actually come around. When the kids were little, as soon as you went out to the bank, they would come swimming right up to you because they were used to being fed. But if you're going down the lazy rivers like the Itchituckney River and all of the springs like Rainbow Springs, they don't get fed. They're more afraid of you than we are of them.
Well, they have no chewing teeth.
Right.
And so even when they grab like a little dog or something.
Crocodiles, different story.
Crocodiles are different. But they will pull something off, and what they're doing is they're going to drown their prey, stick it under a rock or something, and then come back after it's decaying because they can't chew. They have to pull off the meat, swallow it whole.
People don't know. Gators actually will only attack something that they think they can swallow whole because that's how they eat.
Yeah.
So they'll go after small dogs. So the problem with humans, if they are going, if you are go in the water and you are submerged and only your head is out, that's where they might come after you because they think they can. I know we're making a great case for Florida, right?
I know.
But because they think they can swallow you, but they can only eat what they can swallow whole, whereas crocodiles can chew. Gators don't chew, and so yeah, they don't bother you. Snakes, that's a different story.
Well, they're rare.
Jerry said, "I love
that you
lamb."
see them.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's what I want
Morgan
to be,
says,
that person that loves
lamb.
lamb.
Jerry said, I like goat as well. When I lived in Saudi Arabia, it had been quite a few goat grabs.
Wow, tasty meat.
Brian said, I'm still raving about the lamb chops from the Brazilian steakhouse we ate during Keto Palooza.
The one that we went to.
The one in Vegas was really good.
Was like really, I like how Jerry says, that's not bad. Love it.
Anthony said, I had 4 bags of the Costco keto mix, only purchased because it said keto. One of the first videos I saw of yours, you bashed it and I returned them.
Aww.
You made me a label reader. Thank you very much.
That's the highest compliment you could pay us, really.
Alan said, oh my God, that's so funny, Rachel, climbing the walls. They must have put some ingredient that makes it very addictive.
It was his bookcase that you can see.
It was my bookcase, the one that you see in my office.
I literally climbed up and Joe came home and I had
They were hanging up on the top shelf behind something because she told me to hide them.
in the shelves. I had my feet in the shelves and was like hanging and he was like, baby, what are you doing? She
had said to me, I need you to hide these from me. And so I did. And then she was basically scouring the house looking for them.
But I was so out of my mind, I didn't even go get a ladder.
She ate an entire box in one day.
What was in that? So Susan says, I have absolutely no control with Built Bars.
Yeah.
I just don't know what's going on in there.
Alan said, I read that one already. Brianna said, there was a senior public speaking class at my high school. One of their assignments is to give a speech to a teacher. One of the kids picked me and surprised me during class.
Oh my gosh. Like, are you still crying from that situation? Because I would still be bawling. That is so awesome. And I think a real testimony to the power of a good teacher. A good teacher changes everything. There was a PE teacher, this young lady that Caleb had as a PE teacher when he was in high school, and to this day, he still uses things that she said is like, I mean, it's just long gospel. Like his love for fitness was because of this young lady. I'm so thankful for her.
Brianna said, is there a special glass or silicone container for sous vide egg bites at home? Yes.
I believe I've seen that for yes.
Amazon.
Dun, 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 dun. Sous vide. Oh, egg bite maker. So it's like that specific.
You can actually do this, and you can use them for your sous vide, but really, they're made for the Instant Pot. So.
But that's good to know. You could do it in the Instant Pot.
Let me go over to here. I'm trying to get the link.
I can see what you're, because the one they're giving you is like 3,000 feet long.
There we go. So yes, so check this one out. Can I post through here? Oh, I have to post through this.
I'm just watching you work. This is what's happening.
This one here. So yeah, get this. You can make them in an Instant Pot, or you can make, if you're gonna make them in a sous vide, you're gonna put them in glass canning jars.
Shauna says,
but that sous vide mold, we have one of those and it works.
She
great.
Stays away from the high key cluster bars. Like
yeah, I have those too. I won't open the boxes. We had a couple of them and I stopped opening them.
They were too good, but they didn't make me climb weird things and forget where I was. So.
Lisa said, I've always had a hard time tracking. Any advice? I'm good in the beginning of the day and then I fall off. I need to track to get some macro help. If you're just eating meat, and maybe some veggies, you don't need to track.
But if you...
The more you incorporate other products...
That's when you have to track.
That's where you need to start tracking. But if you're just going to eat meat and veggies, you don't need to track.
Even if you say, I'm going to track those things. If I want to eat something with a wrapper, I have to track that.
Right.
That's a non-negotiable if you do that. You could also... I see some people, because it's not too far ahead of time... The night before, this is what I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
And it actually...
That is what we do.
It actually helps you to stay on track with your meal plan when your cravings want you to deviate. Like, I'm in the mood for chicken wings, but I plan to eat hamburger. And this is like, oh, well, sorry, I'll have to plan the next time to have, chicken wings because I've already made my plan, and I'm not going to lose this momentum. Look at all this tracking I did. I'm not losing this.
Yeah. So the only place I'm going to tell you where you really need to track is if you're eating a lot of things that aren't just meat and maybe some veggies, or if you're eating many times a day, which you really shouldn't be doing anyway. You should be eating 2 or 3 times a day. But if you're eating several times a day, you might want to track just to see how much fuel are you getting so that you can be on a more one-to-one basis. But I would say maybe the first week or 2 track just to get an idea of like, am I eating enough food? Because some people, especially if they're only eating 1 meal a day, they're not eating enough food, and you want to have that knowledge. Use Chronometer. It's got a great scan thing. It's very easy to do searches. Don't use it to determine your macros. But just if you're new, I would say use Chronometer for a week and just put everything in so that you can be honest with yourself and go and like, oh, look at everything I ate. Look at how much fat I ate, or look at how much protein I ate. There's nothing in it.
I know.
And then you can have an idea. But after a week or so, you just kind of start learning that like, okay, this is what a pound looks like. And like, I know for us, like a pound of chopped meat and a half a dozen eggs is pretty much enough food for us for the day.
Yeah. Look at what Jerry says, because I'm so glad that he called them out on this. We have a salad place here called Salad and Go, and they were going on that their salad will help people get into ketosis. I called them out on it as their salads are like 40 to 60 carbs.
That's ridiculous.
And not keto. Wow. But thank you for doing that, Jerry, because yeah, I mean, hello, most people be like, oh, good, I'm on keto. There's a keto salad in my local area. I'm totally going there.
Right.
Oh, that makes me so mad. Like, I'm really glad you called him out on it.
Brian said Karen feels so ripped off if she did not see gators.
Gotta see some gators. If it's cold, you're guaranteed to see them because they have to get out of the water and be on the side because they need the sun.
Yes, Alan, great point. Another thing that causes them to attack is if you're near their nest.
They're babies. You would think that like cold-blooded animals don't care about their babies, but they're actually one of the most protective mothers in the animal kingdom. And the only thing that will provoke a gator to attack you is if you pick up their baby. And their baby, when you pick it up, sounds like a little piglet squeaking like, wee, 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 wee. That's how they sound.
Okay, so between talking about crocodiles and Betty White recently dying, I'm ready to watch Lake Placid again.
Oh, yes. I know. We were just watching something on Betty White. It makes me so sad. The kids were furious that she didn't make it to 100 because it was just like we all love her.
Paul said, gators and crocodile, most dangerous things we have here is an angry duck.
We have Muscovy ducks here with their like really mean red yucky stuff on their faces, and they can be very aggressive. Yeah. They will go after you.
Libby said, I'm not starting with Built Bars. They're just south of us and much too easy access. The bigger problem that I also have with Built Bars is that a lot of people who see Built, and they have several products that are not very keto friendly. Like the Built Puffs, there's extra sugar in them. There's more carbs in them.
No.
And, people think that, oh, well, they're a protein bar. Yeah, they have a bunch of protein, but just go eat a steak.
Well, the thing that I've noticed,
you shouldn't be eating a Built Bar for the protein.
Some of the people that I have come in contact with or even watched that are like really do like Built Bars, it's almost like that's the only thing I want to eat. It's like they get like a hold on you. I don't like that.
Alan said, I had a psychology teacher in college that taught us how to learn in his method was to turn everything into an animated video in your head with lots of action, and you can never forget it.
Wow, that is so cool.
Shauna said, I only climbed weird things and forgot where I was after I ate a box of clusters.
I remember Heather Gift had said that she was like sleep eating the Built Bar stuff.
He said, thank you for using the Amazon link shortener. I loathe those novels they give you.
I know, right? And it's like a paragraph long, and it's got like 2 Batman signals and like, squiggly lines. It's so crazy.
Brian said, thank you for warning about the baby gators. Karen tries to be kind to all critters, but I've had to restrain her if she saw a baby gator.
Yeah, if she sees a baby gator. You know what really makes you sad is some it's usually like a seedy motel. They'll have like an aquarium with baby gators in it. So they've like gotten, I don't even know how they've picked up a baby gator and like survived to tell the story about it.
Okay, here you go. Alan, I weigh 214. My ideal weight is 185. How much meat, let's say ground beef or steak, should I eat at dinner? Roughly, not exactly. So you want to eat about 185 grams of protein and up to 180 grams of fat. So what we can do is, since this is for our Patreons.
Will it skip over?
We're going to go over here.
Okay.
Well, first we're going to go turn off Alan's comments so that it's not.
Look how handsome Alan is.
Okay.
Super handsome.
His
goatee is majestic.
Go here.
You've got your beard is like, it's like the Kenny Rogers beard. Have you thought about when we first started dating, you had just the goatee. Have you thought about going back to that? Because I mean, if you will, I will.
Every once in a while.
We can
I've
both
thought
have
about shaving off completely.
Oh, no, then you're gonna look like a baby head.
Okay, so let's go to chronometer.
Don't be a baby head.
Okay, so you're gonna go to chronometer, and let's see.
Can you check and see if you're actually seeing that? Because I don't know if you are.
You are. See?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so let's say you want to eat ground beef. I recommend 85-15 or 80-20. 85-15 ground beef.
You want raw.
And we're going to always use raw. And so if you eat a pound of it, that would be 68 grams of fat and 84 grams of protein.
16 ounces is a pound.
16 ounces is a pound. Did you know that?
I do now.
I got to turn this off because I can't. I guess I can't do that.
I don't know what you're doing.
I can't get to the add button, or I can't see the add button. Okay, then we're gonna go in and let's do ribeye. A ribeye with your
visible fat eaten.
A 16-ounce ribeye is 121 grams of protein and 68 grams of fat. Let's see. Is
that correct?
It's because it's cooked.
Yeah.
That's why. I like raw. Do we have a raw ribeye in here? Ribeye. Raw. Here we go. So if you get, there you go. That's perfect. There. So a raw ribeye is 83 grams of protein for a pound and 90 grams of fat. But again, when you cook it, it's going to get 1-to-1. That's why ribeye is so awesome. Also, if you're interested in eggs, lots of egg puddings. So if you eat a dozen eggs, that's 66 grams of protein and 56 grams of fat.
Yeah.
So that's the best thing to do. So if you're curious, what you would do is come over here if you're in chronometer, and if you go to settings, and then you can go to profile and targets. And what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to right here, and you do set macro targets using fixed values. So don't use the keto calculator, don't use macro ratios, use fixed values, and then you can set what you want right here. So you go 180 grams of protein, and then 20 grams of carbs. I don't know why it's programmed for net for some reason right now, because I don't really use this. Total carbs. We'll make this 30, and then over here we're gonna go 150. Okay, so now you can see it's 180, 30, and 150. That equals 180. So now when you go back over to your diary, you can actually see I have it turned off right now, but you can see how far away from each one of your goals you're at. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But if you can always send us an email and we can kind of walk you through. I keep meaning to redo the video on chronometer, and we just get busy doing other things. So Alan, okay, I reread that one.
Oh, thanks. Shauna says my nails look
Alan said Betty White is by far my favorite actress, and she's such an animal lover, which means a lot to me.
Yeah, there was something on Disney Channel with her and big cats, if you have the Disney Plus.
Wellman said last week some of my work was late due to a mountain lion in their yard.
Wow. That would do it. I remember one time, we have coyotes in our backyard for some reason. And I was going out for a walk, and a coyote walked past me, and I was like, you're not robbing me of my exercise. I'm gonna still get in my fitness. And I felt so accomplished. I came home to Joe and was like, okay, if I didn't use a coyote as an excuse to not get my fitness in, I'm turning a corner in this fitness world. I'm excited about that.
Brian said Muscovy ducks also roost, so we found our neighbor's ducks on our roof before.
Oh my gosh, I can't stand those things. My mom is like, ugh, because they poop everywhere.
Wellman said my weight is 140 and I have a hard time getting 100 to 120 grams of protein. I like fat more, which is fine, but just slowly work your way up to get the protein. Protein is the most important macro because it's the only thing that your body can't make.
Shauna's like, nothing like seeing Betty White cuddle a lion.
Yeah. Jerry said, Costco peanuts, almonds, cashews are kryptonite to me. For peanuts, they say a quarter of a cup is a serving. However, 1 to 1.5 is more of a serving to me. I have to try to stay away from it, but it's hard for me.
Same.
It's like Brazil nuts. I love Brazil nuts. You know a serving size of Brazil nuts is like 3 nuts. Who's eating 3 nuts?
Who's eating 3 nuts?
And those 3 nuts are like 200 calories.
That's nuts.
I mean, it's just...
Makes me sad.
Wild Zen said, how many ounces do you think are in a boneless pork rib, like from Sam's Club or Costco? You'd have to weigh it. And remember, when you're talking about eating grams of protein, you're not talking about the actual physical weight of what you're eating.
With the bone in it.
You're talking about how much weight is in that food. So if we went back over to Chronometer, okay, so for example, this is a pound of ground beef, okay? Let me turn that off. So this is a pound of ground beef. That means it's 16 ounces, but it only has 84 grams of protein because all of your meats has 3 things. There's 3 things that make up the weight. It's going to be protein, fat, and water. So people think that like, oh, I can eat 6 ounces of chicken breast, but that's not 6 ounces of protein. It's 6 ounces of the fat and the protein and the water combined. So what you need to do is take the weight of the food you're eating, like for example, 1 pound of ribeye, you put that in the Chronometer and that'll tell you how much of that weight is actual protein.
So Brian says, I grew up knowing that if I saw a coyote, I needed to look in the sky for falling anvils. Because yes, all of my previous knowledge of coyotes goes back to Looney Tunes and like whatever Bugs Bunny and the Tasmanian Devil. In fact, that is what I thought a Tasmanian Devil did, was like swirl around and like talk like that.
Brianna said, I have coyotes in my woods. I only let my dog out in the front yard unless I'm with her.
She's only 9.5 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Alan, another question. So what can I use the chicken keto chow soup for besides soup? I plan on using the beef in the taco for tomatoes and absorbing grease in the meat to make sauce. It makes a really good gravy. It makes great biscuit and gravy kind of gravy. There's lots of recipes on the Keto Chow website, but one of the best is actually the Keto Chow drop biscuits. The chicken soup makes a great drop biscuit.
We added to the PSMF bread.
We added to the PSMF bread. It completely changes the texture of it.
Randy says, my daughter has peacocks that jump on top of her roof.
We had one until it died.
I know.
We didn't personally.
Not personally, but
there was one in the neighborhood.
It was like a neighborhood friend.
So, okay. We are going to get off. I still have to work on Keto on the Couch because I have 10 hours of driving tomorrow.
You have a lot of driving tomorrow.
I have 10 hours of driving tomorrow. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for supporting us. You know, whether you're a channel member or you're over on, Patreon, it's just so appreciated. What you guys do for us, you will never completely know how much your support means to us.
You bless us so much, and it is our passion, and we will continue to get the word spread into every corner of the earth that is humanly possible about keto, because we want to see life change. And we do get so many emails and messages about how, children are starting to go on keto with their parents and they're learning things. It's all because of you. Every win that we get to see and hear about, it's connected to you because you are the ones that make it possible.
Before we get off, I just want to show you guys this.
I'm glad you're doing this.
We're not going to read the whole thing because we got this amazing letter.
Yes.
Okay. This is an amazing letter. I don't even know how many pages
it was. About like
from
20.
Victoria. But so what a testimony, 21 pages. And we were sobbing through the whole thing. And
it was basically,
I'm going to show you guys this. So this is Victoria's before picture.
Yeah.
And this is her now picture.
So this is Victoria.
Okay, we got to go up here because it's not an autofocus.
This is Victoria, and this is Chloe, her daughter.
Yep.
Who, her daughter is autistic. Mm-hmm. And so she talked about how, and this is her now. So this is what Victoria looks like now, and this is Chloe now, which is super awesome. I mean, just beautiful child. And so since coming to keto herself to try to get healthy, She also has put Chloe on it and talked a lot about the journey of getting Chloe on keto and how, you know, Chloe is watching the channel too, which is such a tremendous blessing.
She drew keto on the couch for us.
She drew keto on the couch. One of the things she loves doing the most is arts and crafts. Like, she just absolutely loves arts and crafts. But she was sharing the difference that it has made in Chloe's life to get off of all of the other foods, and how it has made such a difference in how she can learn and the progress that she's made. And she's actually sent handwriting
I just wanted to show you
even.
real quick, because this is because of you guys, because you guys support us and we're able to get the word out there, and we're able to really focus on this passion. So this was Chloe handwriting before keto.
Right, in 2021.
And 1 year later, and I know it's really hard to see because we don't have an autofocus camera.
But there's so much control.
Wait.
She has like a lot more control. A lot more like
this was her one, and this is now.
Yeah. So sometimes, and it's also because Chloe is having such amazing success and mom is having so much success. Her aunt has now gone on keto. The grandmother has now gone on keto, so that they can all help Chloe and to be strong for Chloe. And they are experiencing so much health momentum. She has, her sister has never struggled with weight, but didn't realize that she was the more dangerous fat thin or thin fat, you know, where it was like all of her fat was around her organs, and how that has spoken into so many diseases in their lives. But this is your win. Chloe is your win, because we don't have a camera, except for you guys have helped to provide that for us, and we can reach into their home. So we are truly passionate to continue getting the word out, not just for people our age, but for our children and grandchildren, and you have a part in that. So thank you for what you've done to get this message to Chloe, and how it has changed her life, not just her health, but what she's able to do in school and the future, and how much brighter it looks for her. So you guys have had such a powerful influence in so many lives.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night, guys.
We love
Bye.
you.